the temple town of Ayodhya is all decked up for the grand consecration ceremony of the Sri Ram temple. The temple will be inaugurated in less than 6 hours from now. Religious fervour is high across the nation and beyond. Devotees were waiting for this moment for decades.
And to discuss this further, we have renowned Vedacharya Dr. David Frawley, who also goes by Pandit Vamdev Shastri. Dr. David Frawley has made immense contributions to the field of Vedic knowledge and understanding worldwide. His work highly esteemed by both his peers as well as government authorities. He was awarded India's prestigious Padma Bhushan Award in 2015 for his distinguished service to the nation. It's an honor to have you on the show with us, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's my great honor to be with you, particularly on this most extraordinary day that will go down in history.
Right, sir, absolutely. Now, in fact, Dr. Frawley, you had explained Pran Pratishtha as a unique manner in one of your quotes, saying that it will bring the entire temple alive. Talk to us about the Pran Pratishtha, the process.
Yes. You see, prana is the life force, but it is not just the human life force, it is the universal life force. Because the entire universe is a single organism, a single consciousness, and is alive, as the Vedas and yoga teaches us. So for a temple to come alive, it's not just getting ordinary life energy, it needs to connect to the cosmic life and the whole of nature. So this is a kind of incarnation into the temple of divine energies and cosmic intelligence. It is a very sophisticated process that requires a certain set of rituals and offerings at specific times, so there can be that descent of these higher celestial energies into the temple, taking their birth there, as it were, and sustaining it for its future benefit for all.
Dr. Frawley, thank you for that beautiful explanation. I also wanted to get your thoughts on this, and this is again something that you had mentioned in one of your quotes that you had that the Ram temple in Ayodhya, it represents the civilizational awakening of Bharat and all the dharmic traditions of Asia and for all humanity. If you can elaborate a little further on this.
Well, Sri Ram is well known as the avatar of Dharma, and Sri Ram is also connected to all the dharmic traditions, Hindu, Buddhist, Jain, Sikh. We find Sri Ram in Ayodhya in Thailand. We find Ramayana as far as Indonesia. Even the Japanese have put together their version of the Ramayana. And it is probably the most widely used story throughout history for humanity, inspiring us to greater awareness and better behavior without any dogma or control.
Right. Dr. Frawley, I also want to take this opportunity to understand, if you could just elaborate on this a little more. From your perspective, what is the Vedic significance of the consecration ceremony of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya and the symbolism here? It's also important to note, in fact, that ahead of the ceremony, that's the 4 Vedic paths, which were also correspond to the yugs, were revamped. This is the Bhakti Path, the Ram Path, the Janmabhoomi Path. Could you just elucidate on this?
Well, actually, with this Prana Pratishtha, you must bring in the power of bhakti. I've written recently also that bhakti is the highest form of prana because it connects us to the divine being and the flow of divine energy. There's been a long history of rituals in India, from the Vedic fire offerings and the very elaborate yagyas and havans, to the very extensive murti puja and the honoring of the avatars. So it is a glorious and manifold tradition.
Dr. Frawley, again, this is something that you had mentioned, and I'm just going to shifting a little further from here, that, that the Bhagavad Gita is not just a religious book, it is history. You've also mentioned about the historical relevance of the Ramayana. If you can talk to us about how Ayodhya is part of history and what it will mean after the consecration ceremony today.
Well, Ayodhya is well known as the foremost of the seven sacred cities of the Hindus and the Vedas, said to be found by Manu himself. It is also the home of the great solar dynasty of the Ikshwakus, of which you had not only Sri Ram, but Lord Buddha and many other illustrious leaders. So it represents, you might say, the solar heart of India, the light of Dharma. And in that regard, it upholds the entire Dharmic civilization of India. The poetry, music, dance, even philosophy and yoga is rooted in Sri Ram and the Ramayana. And it's a story that has remained alive from Valmiki all the way till Tulsidas in many forms and expressions. So it is a great unfoldment of creativity, spirituality, and divine oneness.
Right, Dr. Frawley, also I wanted to understand this. How do you contextualize the importance of this event with the broader scope of Vedic history and its relevance today?
Well, one thing we have done, as you know, we have now also discovered and proven there was no Aryan invasion of India. From the archaeology and the genetics that great archaeologists like Professor B.B. Lal have started, many others have done. It's proved that there was an indigenous civilization in India. One of the main areas was the Kurukshetra region in Haryana. Now we know, going back at least 8,000 years, and also with connections to the sea down in Gujarat and elsewhere. So India is a cradle of civilization, and I would almost say it remains the cradle of this kind of spiritual and yogic civilization that so many people in the world are taking up.
Dr. Frawley, going by just what you just said, is it the start of India's cultural renaissance? Is it the reawakening of the renaissance, or do you feel that this is just the world now recognizing what India has always known?
Well, you have to understand India's independence movement was a tremendous cultural awakening. Just think of the figures involved, whether it was Sri Aurobindo or Tilak or Vivekananda, the whole yoga movement, Tagore, Gandhi. They envisioned India's independence as a civilizational influence and enlightenment for the entire world. That got derailed later, but that inspiration was there. Sardar Patel also had it, and that is what the world was looking for India to be India, to be Bharat, to be the spiritual center, not just to be another country among the so many other economic and political states in the world.
All right, Dr. Frawley, thank you so much for joining us, and it was absolutely a pleasure speaking with you, and it was an honor having you on the show with us and sharing all your insights on this. It's an important day, as you mentioned, and you shared so many insights regarding what it will mean for India and for the world. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Well, thank you. It's a great honor for me. This is a historical moment of transition and transformation we're all part of. So let's all celebrate it together and bring the divine, the eternal, and bring in the great love and the great devotion and wisdom of Bharat for the sake of all humanity, and let Sri Ram awaken in all of us. Jai Sri Ram.
Thank you so much.
Ram Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Ram